Hello and welcome to another episode of the Alexandra Wenman Show. I have one of the most beautiful, beautiful guests on my show today. She's a fellow light language conduit, an amazing channel. She's a quantum consciousness healer and guide. She works with animals, vibrational medicine, homeopathy, but she basically is just an amazing conduit for divine spirit, very holographic, and such a beautiful soul. Siobhan, thank you so much for being with me today on the show. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you here. I want to just kick off because, first of all, for all the people out there that love light language, Siobhan's light language is stunning. But the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that she has created these beautiful light language essences, and these are just two of them that she lovingly sent out to me. And you can see they're half empty now. I've been working with them for a couple of weeks, and they're so beautiful. Siobhan, can you talk to us about how these were birthed? What got you started with these gorgeous essences?
Yes. Thank you, Alexandra. Okay, these are the other two. So there are four in total.
Oh,
So, Alexandra, you have love and ascension, and there's also earth and peace. So, just the four right now. And at the moment, this feels enough. I may well bring more in later. So, what I've done is I've been a homeopath for, oh my gosh, over 20 years, and I've brought my knowledge of homeopathy together with light language. And it's probably like about 10 years ago, I had the message to create light language essences or to bring through essences. And at that point, I started to play with astrology essences because I'm an astrologer as well. And so I started creating astrology essences, just basically using the person's birth chart, using my crystals, my intention, bringing in the divine light, so that that essence would support that person to navigate what the soul is calling for them to work with
but
in
they were
this life.
bespoke, were they, for each
They were
individual
bespoke.
client?
They were bespoke. But the thing is, Alexandra, so I did that, and I probably made about a dozen, and I just sent them off to lots of people, and then I just asked them for feedback, and I got really great results. And then I didn't do anything else with that. I left it, but they were powerful in their own right, and maybe that's something I go back to. But anyway, light language, moving all these years forward, light language has developed and is such a big part of who I am now, and I just really wanted to birth these. So a year ago, I came to live in the country away from lots of distractions. So I absolutely knew this was the right time to start. And so um, I just followed my guidance effectively. And I started with Ascension. I started to prepare that in the lead up to the solstice last year. And with each that essence and with all these three subsequent essences, what has happened is once the intention's out there, I started to go on my own journey because obviously you know how it is. We need to be in the right space. We need to be holding the right frequency to birth something new. So I went on my own journey with each of them. And I brought through light language transmissions for each essence. So starting with the Ascension, I did it in the pine forest nearby, besides some digitalis foxgloves, which are real will support the physical heart.
I was just seeing
Um,
you like communicating with the trees just
yeah,
before you said that. I love that.
yeah, I do. You know how I am. So I do the transmissions, and I brought the light language into water, into spring water. And I added alcohol. I had to add alcohol to keep the water pure. It's necessary to do that because otherwise they have a very short shelf life. So I did a few transmissions for each essence. And then I also did a couple of light language paintings. I did that too. They were also imprinted in the water. So a lot of codes of light. So I'm bringing the earth and the stars together, as my friend was saying to me the other day, Siobhan, you're bringing the starlight and the earth together and bringing through all the stories and the energy of all that's gone on in this earth and the stories and the codes that the earth holds as well, bringing the two of them together into the essence to support each person.
I love it. Siobhan, you're making me well up even talking about it. The energy, it's so pure and so beautiful. Can you go back and share with us a little bit about your journey with light language. How did it get started for you?
Okay. It first began when I was living in New Zealand. I was living in a little cottage in the middle of nowhere and looking after somebody's cats. And I was online one night and I was listening to somebody called Brian De Flores. Lots of people don't know him. I don't know where he is today. And he used to create light language images. They were like graphics almost, really, rather than hand painted. I think they went through some printing process. And in this particular show, he brought on Jamie Price. And I see Jamie Price really as a pioneer of light language. And he said, we have somebody special here today. Obviously, I couldn't see her in those days. He didn't have the screen. And she started to bring through some elemental light language. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. And it was so familiar, as so many people say, we recognize it at a heart level, at a soul level. So that was that. So I think that was the beginning of an activation, and I played with it for a while on that land, and then I shut it down. And I just went into my head, I guess, suppressed it, came back to England, started working with my clients, and then I could just feel it starting to come through. So it naturally just came through. I just kept working with it constantly every day. Like, when you have a new skill, like learning to play the piano, you keep going with it. So I used to go around the house all day just in what's initially felt and sounded like gobbledygook, but I knew I had to do this. And it's just evolved over the years, and it still changes. Sometimes it changes. So today I sing it, I tone it, I speak it, I write it, I paint it. What else is there? I dance it.
Done it, yeah.
It's just there, and even when I'm silent, I feel it within me. It's very much a part of who I am. And I set up a YouTube channel some time ago, and I just started bringing the transmissions through. And I always felt called to do them outside. I mean, I am a nature girl, but I realized many years later that I was bringing the energy through for the earth as well, for Gaia, to so that she could receive, and also so that the light language could activate whatever needed to come back to life. So
Love that.
that's it, really.
If somebody
Yeah.
really new to light language were to ask you what it is, how would you describe it to them? How would you explain what it is?
Okay. Well, I would say initially that it's a multi-dimensional form of communication that is experienced, that is felt, that is received by the heart and the soul. So it's high frequencies of light, and it's encoded. So when light language comes into your space, it comes in many codes of light that come into you, that parts, and your higher self, your higher aspects will take all of that information, that beautiful energy, and it will filter it and integrate it into your being. So very often you really, the mind has to step aside, and you feel it. But light language is so I'm talking a lot here.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
no, it's
right. That's all
wonderful, honey.
right.
You have we're here to hear you.
No, how passionate I am about it. So it accelerates your healing. It releases dense energy. So I use it as a healing tool on its own. So it clears the ancestral lines, it clears programming, conditioning, outdated beliefs, whatever that may be. Um, it changes your light quotient. It brings more light into your being and just really brings you back home to your soul, to your light. And it's a great heart opener. So I mean, I did a session for a man the other week. He had an Akashic record reading with me, and then I always bring the light language into that. And afterwards, he said to me, "I feel like I've had psychic surgery."
Yeah.
I said, yeah, but that's how powerful this can be. And at the same time, it's beautiful and soft and subtle. And people may think, well, actually, nothing's really happening here. but it always is. And it's always doing whatever it needs to be. That's the beauty of it. It's subtle and it's loving, and it flows in this beautiful way that that helps you to receive in the most gentle and the most pure way.
It takes you really beyond mind, doesn't it? And it takes the client beyond mind. I think
Mm,
when we can get out of the head and back into the body, into the heart, it goes deeper. And I'm 100% with you on the psychic surgery. That's how I use it. I'll bring light
mm,
language through. And I always say to people, it's like you can reach out and grab handfuls of the energy and you can just pull it out of people, even if you're not in the same room as them. You can see what's
mm.
clearing, or you can pick. It's like you can pick it up and release it. It's so fascinating. And how do you work in a session with people? Do you incorporate the astrology and the vibrational medicine with the light language, or do you do them as separate sessions for people?
Um, the astrology I would generally do separately. Although I may use that if, for example, I'm doing a homeopathic consultation for someone. So I prefer to use vibrational medicine than homeopathy. That's the word that I prefer because that is effectively what it is. So if somebody were to come to me, they might have something really physical going on. They're not interested in, um, going down a really strong spiritual path. But I will use the astrology for my own information, really, so that I have a greater sense of what's going on a soul level. And I can look at the particular houses as well. When I do, but mostly I use the light language in practically everything else that I do. So when I could do an Akashic record reading or clearing, I'll always use the light language. Um, and Yeah, I'm thinking recently about making bespoke essences for people, and I sometimes will do a recording, and I like language recording for somebody with a short meditation, perhaps to follow up from another session they've had, which could possibly be homeopathy, or it could be a reading, or just somebody that's just needing a bit of emotional support at that time. So I like to weave it in wherever I can, as long as the person is open to it. Not everyone is, but the vast majority of people are, people are opening up much more as our hearts start to expand. A lot of people's heads are, they're just stepping back a bit and they're much more receptive now.
I agree. A lot of people, like it's interesting because a lot of people sort of might laugh at it or it makes them feel a bit uncomfortable. But I always say, a bit like symbols or things that you maybe don't fully know or understand, a little bit of discomfort is sometimes good because it keeps you questioning. It's like that. But what does it mean? Because it's a holographic language, we can't really pin down a meaning.
Yeah,
And it's like it keeps them guessing. And often also say to people, if it makes you laugh and you feel like you want a nervous laugh, just do it. It's there to raise your vibration. Laughter is the best medicine, isn't it? And if it makes you laugh, go
that's
for it. There's nothing wrong with like having a giggle. It's actually really one of the ways I think it helps to loosen people up and relax them.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I want to talk to you about the very beginnings of your spiritual journey. So did this all start for you in childhood? How did you suddenly discover that you had these abilities to work with energy and see beyond the physical?
No, Alexandra, I've been thinking about this recently. I wasn't a, I wasn't aware as you were as a child. I know I was extremely sensitive, extremely shy when I went to school. But what came to me this week was I remember the first year at school, I didn't say a word, not a word. And there were nuns taught us. So I saw a lot that wasn't particularly nice. And just this week I got a flash of myself, and it was almost like at that point I was always communicating with spirit.
So Siobhan, can you take us all the way back to the beginning and talk to us a little bit about how your whole spiritual journey started? How did you get into this? How did you discover these amazing gifts?
No. Oh, well, do you know, I think, to be honest, Alexandra, I think it came much later. But if I think back to how I was as a very small human, smaller than I am now, I remember when I went to school and I was extremely shy, extremely sensitive. And so for the first year at school, I didn't speak to anyone. That's how shy I was. But I just felt very much like I wasn't part of this world. I always felt like I was a visitor here. And yeah, and so when I was at school, I was surrounded by nuns. So that was tough for this little shy, sensitive girl because I saw a lot of things, a lot of bad things used to go on in those days in the classrooms. Um, um, and I always remember as a child just being saying, Siobhan, stop being so sensitive. So I always had this sensitivity. So I wasn't that conscious, I wasn't conscious of angels and beings, but obviously they were there, but I wasn't really seeing that. And in my sort of I would have been late teens. I had a relationship with somebody who really opened me up. And this person used to go into trance, and I used to have all sorts of conversations with we call them extraterrestrials. We don't call them that so much now, cosmic beings, if you like, and people who had passed over that were very, very special and very well known. And I used to have these conversations, and I saw a lot. I saw a lot. Saw somebody teleport. I saw a lot. So I had this awareness, but so that was always there, and I always this sense of being on the outside and never quite part of this world, and always seeking more. I couldn't understand why people just all seemed to have been this same template and everyone was following a similar path. I was always questioning that. Don't they want more? Why are they not looking for more? So I was always seeking more. Always loved to travel from a little girl and had these experiences with this person. And then went to work in the corporate world until I was squeezed so tightly that I had to come out of it. And my soul really pushed me onto my path. And that's when I went on to become a homeopath. And then from there, just everything started to open up for me, just trained in different healing modalities. Until I got to where I am today. So I've just been gathering and expanding and opening up myself and knowing myself more as I've gone on. But I've known for a very, very long time that my purpose was much more than um, you know, working in the corporate world. I know everybody has their place, and I'm not um knocking that in any way, but I knew that I was here to do something more. And so, for some time, I've known that I'm here to support people through what we're going through right now, this big ascension journey, and that this is the lifetime. This for me, this is the lifetime when we bring forward all that we have been, all the paths that we've walked before in this world and other worlds, and bring it into being, so we can love and support one another. So that's kind of yeah. Yeah.
It isn't an easy journey, though, is it? Do you want to speak a little bit to that side of it? Because people think, when we walk in light, we may make it look easy when we come out here and we do light language or channeling or we do healing and we make these beautiful videos that support people. But in our personal lives, it isn't always easy, is it?
No, it isn't,
Share a bit about
Alexandra.
that part of the
No,
journey.
you're right, Alexandra. I feel on some level that's almost meant so that we can relate and empathize with others. But I feel that when we're committed to the light, we make a lot of sacrifices. And I know that I have made a lot of sacrifices to do and to bring into the world what I do. And it's almost like I've had to suffer a bit, a fair bit, and I've been in isolation a lot in order for me to love more and love myself more in order to do that. So right now I know in the collective there's a lot of instability, a lot of root issues, and I have the same, there's a lot of instability in my life. And very often I never quite know where I'm going next. So I've had to learn to trust. And and every time, I'm sure it's like life is a bit of a roller coaster, and when we're at those low points, though, um, we can't avoid it. We as light workers, we have to feel it, we have to experience it, we have to really embody it, to transmute it, and then come back up again. So yeah, it's been tough.
I
And I
think it
say
definitely
probably
isn't
pretty much
it?
most of my life's been tough, lots of highs, yeah. But, you know,
It's all about the balance, I think, isn't it? And you hit the nail on the head with we're the ones, I guess, that we can see what others may not be prepared to see or ready to see. And because we have the ability, it kind of falls to us, I think, a lot of the time to transmute a lot of the energy on this planet. And you do obviously a lot of earth service work or grid work, as we might call it. Uh,
mm,
it's a heck of a lot to bring up through your own being and your own psyche, and I think that it's we live in this world of duality, isn't it? And it's such a like almost like a contradiction in terms, but it's so beautifully packaged up, like that yin and yang symbol. Not only do you have the tools to transmute it, it's like you wouldn't be put in that position if you didn't have those tools. It's that thing, isn't it? Well, it doesn't stop us from, I think, when we're faced with these situations, from sometimes going, oh God, great, here we go, and feeling like we're brought to our knees, until we then remember, I'm just going to let the divine flow through me and let me and help me deal with this. Just let go and surrender and really release, and let yourself be carried through it a little bit at times, I think.
yeah, I totally agree. And the letting go and surrendering is the way at times, isn't it? The only way. And then the changes can often come so quickly, so quickly. It's a real test of trust and faith, you know. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I have that 100%. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
talked at the beginning, before we hit record, about
Mm.
you possibly sharing a light language transmission for our viewers. And I wonder if this might be the time to do that, just because we're talking about this, the difficulty everyone seems to be facing at the moment. A lot of people feel like they've lost their way. I've got the Dark Mother coming in here. I can feel this beautiful light, and I knew I had to wear black today. I never wear black, but I can feel this beautiful, almost velvety, inky cloak coming around the two of us as she steps in. And it's like a warm, comforting, womb like feeling. But I'm going to hand over to you, Siobhan. And if you would honor us, I would be absolutely honored to experience some of your beautiful.
Thank you. I'd love to, Alexandra. Okay, so um, Alexandra, you may wish to close your eyes, and anyone who's watching the recording, do the same. Close your eyes and take a nice, long, deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. And just settle into your space and into your body. And feel into your heart, your beautiful heart. Feel into your light and to your love that has no beginning and no end. And just breathe and relax. Just let your light shine. Know that you are loved and you are safe. And I'll bring through some light codes now to support you. Just be open to receiving. Ardiartoraliarto morticauartellurtu micartellu cortalla cortica martuiatura. Ammetto cortaio cortali cortorta paiartor matar. Cocciallartu corta carticale mortu cniru. Abahaioca turta savallartum me bashu mashu ku calicartum. Hanner torta ja lokalla partian. Harje turnia porti kortus pika vartu, keljartu malia korta par. En shartu kaskartu karti pikolla, Mhe, kukikikir turta sapukawa, emotonalabai ikurtu, chapai kitana, a kuyaletsalia, dikiamartu kuboyala, hecha ketorsala, ishpasalai shukoshala, miako, iandaka kikorta lepartai. Just receive, receive. Allow the energies to integrate with your own light. And just feel back into your heart space. Take a few long, deep breaths. And when you're ready, come back into your space. Thank you.
So that was extraordinary. Can I share what I saw while
I
the
would love you to, Alexandra.
so,
Wish I didn't have to wear these glasses.
oh, do you, honey? You look
You're a
beautiful.
smudge otherwise. You just
Beautiful.
honestly
I
your
wear, I
beautiful
wear I
face.
wear glasses, but I've got contacts in today. So this was beautiful. So I saw kind of I had my eyes closed, but she came around you and sort of emerged from you. And I wonder, I think she's an aspect of you on some level, but she was this ancient woman wearing like natural fibers, very almost like a rough cloak, very, very, very old, curly, sort of graying hair. But and I love that you use the diamond as well because I use the diamond in Archangel Alchemy. But she had the diamond on her forehead, almost like a tattoo here. You know how the goddesses in Glastonbury have the tattoos on their forehead, but she had the diamond tattooed here, but the light was shining from it. And it was like this part of you or this guide was feeding you through this light language. But she seemed to come out, she was showing me this ancient forest with moss and like really ancient trees. And she was saying, before it was like ancestral core codes of memory from ancient earth. And she was saying, before the shadow is what's being activated, like going back to the time before any attack happened, before anything went wrong, before anything got skewed or distorted. She was bringing codes from what felt like the ancient past and feeding them through you for all of us to bring things back into that beautiful neutrality. The time of the ancient primordial memory when the goddess and the godhead were, in equal measure. It was a transcended time, which is now linking up to that ascended future that we're stepping into. So, and I could actually see it's like a golden loop of energy just relinking, and it felt like where this any links in our journey or in our ascension journey had been broken. So it felt like timeline linkage, like was being healed, like the timeline to make sure we're on the highest timeline. Um, that was so beautiful. She's absolutely extraordinary, as are you, honey. And I feel that she's a part of you. I really feel that, it was like, I even feel maybe in that light language transmission for you that this part of you has come in for you to reintegrate on many levels, to give you more stability and grounding in that ancient knowing that
Mm-hmm.
and before we hit record, we talked about some painful times we've both been through. We don't need to share exactly what that is, but I do feel that at the moment there's an amazing repair going on for women and the sisterhood and the councils of the feminine on this earth. And this felt so supportive. It felt like that old, that some of those old shadowy, painful parts can now be healed. And as I'm saying that, I'm just seeing like splinters of energy sort of coming together and those sharp edges being smoothed and like the channel being really like and instead it's turning it into the stem of a rose with the thorns going outward. But it feels like this reminder that sometimes, I'm getting the word stern, sometimes you need to be stern or firm in the honoring of healthy boundaries. I think is something you can be
Mm.
compassionate, but sometimes you need to be a bit firm in that compassion. And that's for everybody watching. This has been such a theme, especially since these eclipses. the
Yes.
the boundary thing is really coming up strong, especially in women and sensitives. So yeah, lots going on this planet. And interestingly, we've had women well, apparently going to space. I'm not even going to comment. And then we've also had,
I think my laughter's my comment.
we've also had this high court judgment, about women going on. So there's a lot going on around the theme of women and feminine and women's bodies. I think we're reclaiming sovereignty over our bodies on some level. I'm not going to give my opinion either way on any of those things, but there's definitely something very interesting going on here. And I feel like this was very supportive light language through whatever this evolution is for everybody, not just women, but the feminine within all of us is the goddess that lives within. And that is our intuition, our inner magic, our inner power, really reclaiming that for everybody.
Yeah,
Letting the
beautiful.
individual be the individual. We all have a masculine and feminine, don't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's time. And I can feel it. I can feel it happening. It is, it's like this unraveling going on, isn't there? And we're all coming up. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much for what you've brought through about the light language, Alexandra. That's just wonderful. It felt very Lemurian for me,
Yes. Yeah.
and yeah, yeah, really spot on. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I was given the words the inner earth, which I know is Lemurian very much. She was extraordinary to see, though. You, my darling, extraordinary, absolutely
Mm.
extraordinary. So, just one final question. I know you have to go shortly. What do you feel is happening for us in this ascension process, in your words? Where do you feel we are going? What is going on here? What on earth is going on?
Well, for me, it's a huge remembering, but it's a reclaiming as well. Reclaiming, like you're just talking here about sovereignty. We're reclaiming our true essence, what we really are. So we're remembering it, but we're also bringing it back because there's been so much distortion in this world, so much placed upon people. And that's really going now. That's all falling away. So naturally, but then some people are floundering in that and they're not really sure which way to go or really understanding it. So, yeah, I think I mean, really, the light's rising within us, and we're all coming together once more. Even regardless of what we're going is happening, like in my life or your life, I can just feel this great strength, and it's the great gathering now of souls, and that physical support as well. That we're going through this journey together as one. You know, how do you see it? Because I'm sure you have something much more to say.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like we're bringing together the duality at a certain point. We're going to
Yeah.
pop through, but I'm seeing snippets of it now where, and I don't feel the ascension or whatever this evolution is like we're not going anywhere. We're staying here on Earth, but we're evolving within our skin, within our human vessels. The
Mm,
level of consciousness that we're rising into within a physical body is profound. Whether or not you believe in the Homo sapien to Homo luminous evolution, I don't really try to put labels on it. But I'm
mm.
definitely like, this would be a moment, I think, of 5D here with you talking about this stuff. Like, I think sometimes it's simpler than we think it's going to be. Sometimes it's just in a beautiful moment with a friend having a coffee. The beautiful, someone calls them glimmers. I think a friend called them glimmers, where you get like just bits of hope returning, like feelings of, oh, it's all going to be okay. And it's like, allow yourself to acknowledge those glimmers, because we're so conditioned to focus on what's going wrong, not what's going right. But actually, if we shift our perspective and we choose not spiritually bypassing the shadow. We integrate it, but we choose the light, we choose the love, we choose the path of joy and peace and bliss. And the more we choose it for ourselves, the more that ripples out into the collective. I definitely feel we are evolving. I can see, I mean, you and I, Siobhan, are our own guinea pigs, right? So I can see the evolution that has unfolded in myself, even though I could see as a child and was always connected. This is by far more connected than I ever was then. It's so holographic, and I'm much more able to interpret, see, hear, feel energies now than I ever was. Um, and I believe this is our original divine blueprint. I think it's our birthright to all be healers, to all be psychic, to all be divinely connected. And I think we're healing all separation, transcending duality, and coming back into oneness. But as individuals, we're individual, unique facets of that one divine. It doesn't mean we all have to be herded together like cattle and all do the same thing or all be the same as each other, but individuals with a common goal and a common mission, which is love. Simple as that.
Absolutely. It is. That is what it is about at the end of the day. It is love.
It's
Yeah.
all love, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you. Amazing, honey.
Thank you. That's
Listen,
so
can you
good to see
please,
you. Thank you.
it's so good to see you. Can you please share with everybody how they can get in touch with you, how they can find your beautiful essences?
Oh, okay. All right. So they're on my website. My website is siobhanpurcell.net. My essences are also available in Ainsworth's Pharmacy in London, but you can come straight to me. Everything's on my website. I've got my YouTube channel, which is my name again. I just keep it simple. Just look for Siobhan Purcell, which so it's Siobhan Purcell for those of you who can't spell
The
Siobhan.
overhand.
What else you need to know? Yeah, and I've got, I'm updating my website all the time. Lots of new offerings coming out, and I've been doing a lot online in recent years, and my intention this year is to get much more out into the physical world and be with people again. So yeah, just I'm very happy to hear from anyone. Just drop me a message, email, give me a call. Love to hear from you, and really grateful to everyone who's watching, but most of all to you, Alexandra, for bringing me here and to hearing what I have to share. It's an absolute honor to be with you.
I'd love you, I don't know if you're already doing this, but I'd love you to run some light language nature walks where we can all come and be involved if you're not already doing it.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that. No, I do them on my own with the dog,
Yeah.
but I'd absolutely love to do that. I'd absolutely love to.
Imagine how
That would be
magical.
wonderful.
A
Yes, yeah,
group of people all doing light language in the forest
yeah,
together. That would be
yes,
profound.
yeah. I haven't heard your light language in a while.
No, do you know what? I have been doing a lot of other different things, but it's switching back on now. I'm about to start teaching a grad course with the Shift Network on angelic light language.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I've kept it quite, like, I suppose I kept it quite to one-on-one sessions. It hasn't come through that publicly lately, but it's switching on a lot this year. So I've been using it a lot this year just for myself, which is so supportive. And I'm just thinking about there is a healing system that I've been developing with it that is to do with the Elohim angels, so which I call Elohim alchemy. So that
Okay.
is a system that teaches a bit of the psychic surgery and things like that. So watch this space. It's in development. I think these are really supporting me in my own light language journey too, honey.
Yeah,
There's so many of us out there that use it and we all use it in different ways, and but it's such a beautiful, and I just see it as like this network of love. The more we use it, the more we're almost building this new framework of light around the planet, aren't we? Because everything is sound. Everything is, in the
absolutely.
beginning was the word. So it's
I totally agree. And I'm always sorry interrupting, but I am aware with when the essences go out in the world. So you've taken the essences, and so it's for me it's light in a bottle. This is cosmic light, divine intelligence in a bottle. So it comes into you, and then it's emanating from you. It's going into the earth. It's wherever you walk. So yeah, it's just that's spreading light as well in another form. So it's all magical and
you can feel your intention in these, like it's interesting, isn't it? People like you and I that can really, really feel and sense energy. I can
mm,
feel the purity of your intention in this. It is so stunning, and I'm so grateful. And especially because like you reached out to me and we hadn't spoken in a while, sort of one on one, and it couldn't have come at a better time, Siobhan. So thank you so much, honey.
You're well,
Please have
you're well.
supported me through some tricky weeks. And yeah, I just have so much love for you. And just for those of you watching, do please check out Siobhan's beautiful light language. You do Insta lives as well, don't you, honey? Do you still do
I
Insta?
do. I don't do them like I do them as and when, but yeah, they're on there. I do them. Yeah. Um, yeah, it'd be good to start doing them weekly. And I do a meditation and light language class or alternate Thursdays that's online as well. So yeah, but there's loads on YouTube too that you can just pick up, and it doesn't matter how old it is, it's all valid and you always receive what you need. So you know, Alexandra, I'll send you the other essences. So you've got Love and Ascension there, haven't you?
I do.
I'll send you these two as well.
Oh, thanks,
All right.
gorgeous. Yeah, I'd love to
I'll
compare.
pop them in the post to you
That'd be
tomorrow.
great for the grounding. I need a bit of the grounding at the moment.
I know
Oh,
you seem pretty good to me.
you know what? I was literally just about to say that to you. One of the things I love about you, Siobhan, is that and I've had people say this to me as well. Even though you're talking about some pretty out there stuff, and let's face it, some people might call it woo-woo, you are so grounded and normal and down to earth, and I love that about you. And I think we have to be, don't we, to hold these energies. You've also got to let yourself be a human. You've got to let yourself just go grocery shopping, be the normal person, live your life and not
Yeah.
always with our heads in the clouds because we're integrating.
No, I totally agree, Alexander, because I think for so much of my life I was out there and there was also always a part of me that wanted to escape. But no, and we're here to have fun. We're here
Yes.
to enjoy ourselves and just love each other and love everything. Everything's just so easy when we're in that space, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know?
That's heaven on earth, isn't it? That's it.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
embody
It's
it.
not out there, it's here. It's right here. Yeah.
Dawn, I love you. I'm going to let you go.
Oh,
Thank you
I
so, so
love you
much.
too. Thank you very much.
Absolute honor and pleasure to speak to you today. And yes, for those of you watching, I'll pop all the links below. And thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your comments. And please get in touch with Siobhan personally and check out her beautiful work on YouTube as well. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.